These 100 Flowers Awards have once again left audiences disgusted. Some of the results are simply too outrageous to imagine. And once again, the scene displayed the politics of personal relationships and social maneuvering in full view. Everyone knows it. In this industry, the skills practiced outside the set are often better than the acting on screen. This is taking self-entertainment way too far. No wonder your circle is declining day by day. You brought it on yourselves. The People's 100 Flowers Awards, yet the people have no voice. On the evening of August 10, the People's 100 Flowers Awards came to an end in Beijing. This was the 38th edition. It claims to be a film award representing the public's choice, yet as soon as it ended, the public criticized it all the way onto the trending searches. So let's take a look at what exactly happened this time. At the ceremony, 101 judges said to represent the public used live voting to choose the final winners. During the voting for Best Actor and Best Actress, not a single person voted for Wang Baoqiang. Liu Haoran received 1 vote, Ma Li received 2 votes. At the 2022 100 Flowers Awards, Shen Teng also ended up with 0 votes. These 4 stars, whose films have reportedly generated a combined box office of 113 billion yuan, received only 3 votes in total from the live panel. Netizens joked that all that remained was the cold, hard box office revenue. The films they submitted may not have been the kind of works that usually win awards, but audiences still paid real money to watch them. These are people with genuine audience appeal. It is hard to believe they deserved vote counts this low. Yi Yangqianxi defeated Wang Baoqiang and Tony Leung Ka-fai and won Best Actor. Just ask yourselves whether that feels excessive. What makes it even more ironic is that it was not enough simply to defeat them. There was also a live vote, and Wang Baoqiang received no votes at all. That really left me speechless. Very soon, Wang Baoqiang's 0 votes shot onto the trending searches. Netizens said one after another that the whole thing felt arranged. Isn't this practically humiliating people to their faces? Last time Shen Teng got 0 votes. This time Wang Baoqiang got 0 votes. The 100 Flowers Awards is supposed to be a popular public vote award. Both of these actors have proven box office appeal. Whether they should win is another question. But for both of them to receive 0 votes is difficult to understand. Stop picking on Baoqiang. Previously, Zhu Yilong, the male lead of a film with 1.2 billion yuan at the box office, received 7 votes. A film with 3 billion yuan at the box office, and Liu Haoran, the male lead of the Nanjing photo studio, received 1 vote. But for Little Me, with around 700 million yuan at the box office, its male lead, our so-called Mr. 4 characters, received 48 votes, winning by an overwhelming margin, and narrowly defeating Tony Leung Ka-fai in Chasing the Wind and Shadow. The voting was certainly dramatic, extremely intense, so on the surface the 4-character star's victory appeared well-deserved. But some of the industry's actions made audiences suspect that something was happening behind the scenes. And to be fair, does anyone even need to wonder? After all, it looked as if some people already knew what destiny had decided. Even the song seemed to have been prepared in advance. In the end, Yi Yangqianxi won Best Actor for Little Me, playing a character with cerebral palsy. Some netizens believed the award was fully deserved, but it also triggered plenty of criticism. One netizen wrote, "Suffering is not a shortcut to acting. Disability is not a tool for gilding an award campaign." The comment was meant to suggest that Yi Yangqianxi's path to the award carried a degree of opportunism. In fact, in Yi Yangqianxi's acceptance speech, he mentioned something Duan Yihong once told him, and the meaning was somewhat similar. When the trailer for Little Me was released, teacher Duan and I were filming another project together. After he watched the trailer, he told me, "A role like this becomes a huge trap if you fail to hold it together. If you can truly carry it, that is not easy at all." After watching the entire ceremony, it felt as though the 100 Flowers Awards had become the film industry entertaining itself. And the awkward part is that the theme of this year's ceremony was still about returning to the original mission. The opening performance repeatedly emphasized the public's choice. It called this a film award completely decided by the people. 60 years later, Are you still the ones voting? Do you still love movies the way you did then? The contradiction could hardly be more obvious. Now I think I finally understand it. From now on, when it comes to the 100 Flowers Awards, people like Shen Teng, Ma Li, Wang Baoqiang, and all of you comedy actors, maybe you should stop joining the excitement. What does this award have to do with you anyway? Do you still not understand? You come here, and not only do you fail to win, you end up being put in an embarrassing position. All you get is humiliation. Wang Baoqiang, 0 votes. How could Wang Baoqiang possibly get 0 votes? There were 101 judges. Was there really not a single person willing to cast 1 vote for him? It seems the 100 Flowers Awards are not merely watery. The water is simply too deep. China's entertainment industry has become deeply troubled. The 100 Flowers Awards look more and more like an award for a closed circle. Before we go further, look at this video. They were all award winners. Yet one group behind them was chatting and laughing, while another Hong Kong star who had won an award walked away alone. There was not even a single greeting exchange during the entire moment. Do you know how some people explain this? They said, "Think about how people over there treated us back then." When I saw that explanation, I could only laugh. If you want to play by your own inner circle rules, then do it. Just stop trying to put a noble gloss on it. That ugly display is already written all over your faces. Why not simply designate the winner directly? Why come out and put on this whole performance? It is genuinely embarrassing. This 2026, one of the year's biggest controversies and biggest jokes, was born. 48 votes crowned the Best Actor. 0 votes for Best Director. 101 judges produced 2 completely opposite worlds. On the evening of August 10, the 38th People's 100 Flowers Awards came to an end. The moment the results were announced, the internet exploded. Wang Baoqiang, 0 votes. Liu Haoran, 1 vote. Yi Yangqianxi, 48 votes, winning Best Actor. Even stranger, in the very same film, the actor received the highest number of votes, while the director received 0. What kind of selection logic is that? Netizens complained directly. Has the 100 Flowers Awards gone from letting the public choose films to letting insiders play the game of favors and relationships? Today, let's look at what exactly went wrong with this year's 100 Flowers Awards. The 100 Flowers Awards were founded in 1962. Originally, they were among the most down-to-earth and prestigious awards in Chinese-language cinema. Back then, millions, even tens of millions of ordinary people cut ballots out of Popular Cinema magazine with their own hands and mailed those envelopes to Beijing to cast their votes. That was genuine public recognition. But now, at the final live stage where the winners are decided, who exactly are these 101 so-called public judges? They are not randomly selected moviegoers. They go through online evaluation, film review submissions, expert screening, and are finally recommended at the provincial level through film associations in different provinces and cities. They do not necessarily represent the market. In the eyes of critics, they represent the arrogance and personal ties of a small circle. That, critics argue, is the root of the perceived unfairness. Some people say that compared with Wang Baoqiang receiving 0 votes, what shocked them even more was that he had been making films for 26 years, and this was his first Best Actor nomination. In fact, Wang Baoqiang seemed very happy about the nomination. A few days earlier, he had been asked, "How does it feel to be nominated for Best Actor for the first time?" He replied, "I'm pleasantly surprised. I've been acting for 26 years. This is my first Best Actor nomination in 26 years. For an award like the People's 100 Flowers Awards, I think this is something very rare for me. I'm very grateful just to be nominated and to be here. In my heart, I have always carried the audience with me. So with every scene I shoot, every film, every character, I believe the audience can feel it." Yet after such a high-profile nomination, the final vote count was 0. After this, cinemas and audiences may well say, "Do not beg Shen Teng or Wang Baoqiang to come again. If you do not believe it, Go out onto the street and find 100 ordinary viewers. Ask them to choose among the nominees. It is hard to imagine Wang Baoqiang receiving 0 votes. 1.11 at the 36th People's 100 Flowers Awards, the hottest topic was not the winner, but Wang Baoqiang receiving 0 votes. So this is really supposed to You already let him enter the final shortlist. Then all 101 of you judges collectively gave him a 0. If that is the case, why nominate him in the first place? Whether he is a good actor or not, do ordinary viewers really not know? From A World Without Thieves and other works, has he acted well or not? Do you think the audience cannot judge that for themselves? You call yourselves public judges, but do you really represent the public? I am not saying the winning male lead performed badly. What I am questioning is how all of you could collectively produce a 0. The phone connected. Feng Xiaogang said from the other end, "Brother, I know what you want to ask." I said, "You already know what I want to ask?" Feng Xiaogang said, "It's about Baoqiang, right?" I said, "Yes, Xiaogang. Tell me the truth. Why did the judges not vote for Baoqiang?" There was silence on the other end of the phone for a moment. Feng Xiaogang said, "Brother Zhou, do you really want to hear the truth?" I said, "Of course. Why else would I call you?" He sighed. "Then I'll tell you the truth. The judges did not refuse to vote for Baoqiang because he cannot act. It is because Baoqiang does not understand the rules." I asked, "What rules?" Feng Xiaogang said, "The rules inside the judges' circle." "Brother Shuo, do you know how this judges' circle operates?" I said, "Tell me." Feng Xiaogang said, "The judges' circle has a set of invisible rules. They are not written on paper, but everyone understands them. For example, once you are nominated, you are expected to visit the judges before the ceremony one by one. It is not about begging for votes. It is about showing respect so the judges know that you understand etiquette." I asked, "Did Baoqiang do that?" He said, "No. Baoqiang is the kind of person who thinks good acting alone can win an award. He does not understand that with awards, acting is only one part. The other part is whether you understand the rules of the circle." I asked, "What else?" Feng Xiaogang said, "You also have to attend some of the dinners and social gatherings organized by judges, so people get to know you, understand you, and feel that you are one of their own. If you do not attend, judges may see you as an outsider. Why would an insider give a vote to an outsider?" I asked, "Did Baoqiang attend?" He said, "No. Baoqiang normally does not like socializing. He does not like attending these kinds of dinners or tea gatherings. He thinks that if he performs well, that is enough, and everything else is unimportant. But he does not understand that in this circle, socializing can matter even more than acting." Wang Baoqiang, 0 votes. Liu Haoran, 1 vote. It brings to mind how Shen Teng also received 0 votes a few years ago. Whether we are talking about Wang Baoqiang's national popularity, his acting, or his contribution to Chinese cinema, he is widely regarded as a major figure in the industry. Yet in the eyes of 101 judges, he was apparently not worth even 1 vote. A vote count this extreme no longer feels like a normal selection process. To critics, it looks like public exclusion and humiliation. The final major award of the night, Best Picture, went to Ne Zha 2. The film's box office surpassed 10 billion yuan, setting records in Chinese film history. But when the organizers announced that it had won, no one in the audience stood up to salute it. Yet when director Zhang Yimou came forward with his work to receive the Outstanding Film Award, the audience immediately stood and applauded loudly. That painfully awkward contrast, in the eyes of critics, tore away the final cover from the 100 Flowers Awards. Ne Zha 2 had achieved overwhelming box office success, leaving the organizers little choice but to give it an award. But it still seemed unable to enter the traditional film industry's closed network of relationships. When Ne Zha, which reportedly ranked first in votes, won Best Picture, very few people in the hall stood up to congratulate it. Look across the entire ceremony, from supporting actor and supporting actress to best actor, best actress, screenplay, director, and newcomer awards. There were plenty of people standing up to congratulate the winners. But Ne Zha, the box office champion in Chinese film history, a work some called a savior for the industry, was met with an unexpectedly cold response from its peers. Isn't that strange? Ne Zha director Zhao Zi did not attend the ceremony at all. When producer Wang Baoqiang went on stage to accept the award, the host even asked him to stop and wait because the result of the outstanding film vote still had to be announced. Please ask the award representative, Mr. Wang Baoqiang, to wait in his seat for a moment because we still need to continue. We will now select the outstanding film of this year's People's 100 Flowers Awards from the remaining 5 films. During the outstanding film vote, apart from Zhang Yimou, the 4 women nearby wore carefully controlled expressions, and each of them seemed to turn into a relentless applauding machine. The voting ended. Only the veteran director gave a slight smile, as though quietly waiting for his trophy. In the end, the Outstanding Film Award went to Silent Awakening, a film the script cites as having a Douban score of 5.7, directed by film industry heavyweight Zhang Yimou. And everyone seemed to understand one thing. When a major figure like Zhang Yimou attends, it is hard to imagine him leaving empty-handed. At that point, the entire industry suddenly displayed perfect social awareness. People stood and applauded enthusiastically, giving Zhang Yimou full respect and face. Another interesting moment came when Zhang Yimou actively went over to shake hands with Ne Zha producer Wang Baoqiang. Wang Baoqiang remained seated, almost as if he were making some kind of silent protest. It is also worth noting that when Zhang Yimou went on stage to receive the award, Wang Baoqiang had been sitting next to Yi Yangqianxi, waiting to collect his own award. So who had been sitting in that seat before him? No one. From the beginning, the seat appeared to have been deliberately kept empty. There was no nameplate. It looked as though it had specifically been prepared for Wang Baoqiang to wait there before accepting the award. You tell me whether that was a coincidence. During the final curtain call segment, Wang Baoqiang also appeared to keep his distance from the live-action film circle and moved toward the edge. Was Silent Awakening really stronger than Ne Zha? Let's look at the actual comparison described in the script. In box office, Silent Awakening was far behind. In general audience reach and online spread, it could not compare with the nationwide popularity of Ne Zha. In terms of industry breakthrough, one was a conventional live-action film, while the other was an animated milestone that changed the course of Chinese film history. In both achievement and perceived quality, Ne Zha was portrayed as having the advantage in almost every dimension. So why did one work stand on the highest podium and receive an ice-cold response, while another received a secondary award and was treated with the highest level of industry courtesy? That is what makes the entire situation so frustrating and so worth thinking about. The argument here is that the reason was not really the work, but the person standing on the stage. What kind of background does Ne Zha director Zhao Zi have? He is almost a 3-0 figure by entertainment industry standards. He did not come from a traditional film school background. He had no famous mentor inside the circle, no major capital backing, and he did not grow up inside the usual film and television relationship networks. He originally studied medicine, then changed careers, spending years working quietly at home as a grassroots creator. With persistence and talent, he forced open a path for himself. Most importantly, he worked deeply in animation and had almost no overlap with the live-action actors, directors, and producers sitting below the stage. Think about it from the perspective of those stars. Zhao Zi cannot help them get roles. He cannot give them resources. He cannot offer them useful exchanges of interests. In the eyes of many insiders, he may look like an outsider who suddenly broke in. Your film can be incredible, but what does that have to do with me? Why should I stand up and applaud for you? So even if you win Best Picture, even if you create what the script calls a 15.9 billion yuan miracle, in an environment that values connections, resources, and exchanges of benefit, you can still be left sitting on the side, made to experience what circle isolation feels like. That is why these circles seem to exist everywhere. If you want to enter one, it can be extremely difficult. People have spent decades building high walls around these networks. If you are an outsider and want to break through them, it is no easy task. At a moment like this, you cannot help but think that director Jiaozi's decision not to appear at this kind of occasion from beginning to end may have been very wise. Watching a younger creator sweep major awards can clearly be uncomfortable for some members of the older generation. Alright, after the advertisement, let's continue today's topic. Next came the most surreal image of the night, and it happened inside the same film crew. The male lead, Yi Yangqianxi, received the highest total of 48 votes and was crowned Best Actor. But only a few minutes later, the director of the same film, Yang Lina, received 0 votes in the Best Director category. It looked like the public judges were collectively staging a logical contradiction in real time. Think carefully about the reasoning behind this. Film is often called the director's art. An actor's strongest moments cannot be separated from a director's camera blocking, rhythm control, and work on the script. Yet these 101 judges were effectively saying on one hand that the male lead of this film gave the best performance, while on the other hand saying the director of the same film was worth absolutely nothing. How can those two judgments coexist inside the same logic? Was Yi Yangqianxi directing himself on set? The script's conclusion is blunt. When the organizers were dividing up the awards backstage, they forgot to make the numbers add up. Before Yi Yangqianxi's award was even announced, the broadcast director had already begun cutting to him repeatedly, as if foreshadowing something. After his victory was announced, people around the award stage sang to him. They were singing a song associated with Qianxi. If I heard correctly, it should have been the promotional song for this film, which was also sung by Qianxi himself. I believe today's honor is something all the movie fans who love you are celebrating. After he accepted the award and stepped down, Huang Xiaoming looked at his back and praised him enthusiastically. As an actor, I think his ability to break through his own limits is truly impressive. I really admire him. I think this award is genuinely well-deserved. You could feel that our young best actor had already become a figure with considerable weight in the film industry. As for me, the artist whose state of mind seemed closest to mine at the scene was Liu Haoran. She had that feeling of being physically present but mentally far away. Every time the camera swept past her, she looked almost like a statue, quietly watching everyone at the ceremony play out the grand performance around her. Did you all watch the 100 Flowers Awards? Wang Baoqiang receiving 0 votes did not surprise me. Yi Yangqianxi winning Best Actor did not surprise me either. But Yi Yangqianxi winning the award while the director of that same film received 0 votes was something I truly did not expect. Isn't film supposed to be the director's art? A director with 0 votes produced a Best Actor with 48 votes. Do they not see the contradiction themselves? No one should laugh at anyone else here. I am not saying traffic stars or popular idols are automatically bad. I agree that if a highly popular star performs well, he can absolutely be nominated for Best Actor. What I do not agree with is allowing older, established actors to rely only on their past reputations, make no progress in their acting, and then suppress younger actors who are delivering stronger performances. But there is one condition. The younger actor must genuinely perform better than the older actor. Even if the two are roughly equal and each has strengths, I would not object to giving the award to the more popular star. But in Little Me, was Yi Yangqianxi's performance really stronger than Tony Leung Ka-fai's in Chasing the Wind and Shadow? Anyone who has watched both films probably has their own answer. We always say that the work itself should be king. But this famous scene felt like a slap in the face to everyone. It suggested that in some circles, when a work stands in front of power and personal connections, it may count for very little. My view is very clear. This incident, in the script's interpretation, was a collective exposure of inner circle culture. It dragged the unspoken rules of flattering the powerful, looking down on those without status, and attaching oneself to influence straight into the light for everyone to see. There may be reasons the film and television industry is experiencing a cold winter. Think about it carefully. Is the entertainment industry really a world of merit alone? Or is it also a world of factions and relationships? The argument here is that an acting award may be pushed toward a top traffic star for attention, popularity, and discussion, while the number of directing awards is limited. That piece of the cake then has to be distributed among other people, other relationships, and other crews that need to be balanced. To maximize everyone's interests, a complete film can end up being split into separate pieces. And the result is this bizarre spectacle. The lead actor becomes a god, while the director gets zero. The 100 Flowers Awards have existed for more than 60 years. But if an award that calls itself a public award loses the trust of ordinary people, turns into a game of industry favors, produces extreme vote counts that look like exclusion, and becomes an illogical exercise in dividing up the cake, then how much prestige does it still have left? When a public award no longer represents the public, it risks being abandoned by the public. So after what the script describes as one of the most absurd 100 Flowers Awards controversies, do you think Yi Yangqianxi truly deserved Best Actor? How can an actor be crowned at the top while the director receives 0 votes? And what do you think about Wang Baoqiang's 0 votes and the director's 0 votes? Looking back at the figures cited throughout this video, it is easy to understand why this year's 100 Flowers Awards triggered such an intense debate. The script points to 101 live judges, with Yi Yangqianxi receiving 48 votes for Best Actor, while Wang Baoqiang received 0, Liu Haoran received 1, and director Yang Lina reportedly received 0 votes in the Best Director category. It also notes that Wang Baoqiang had been acting for 26 years before receiving his first Best Actor nomination, while the 100 Flowers Awards themselves date back to 1962 and have a history of more than 6 decades. These numbers do not automatically prove that an award is unfair, but they do raise an important question. When an award calls itself a People's Award, how closely should its final results reflect the judgment and trust of ordinary moviegoers? In the end, the long-term credibility of any film award depends not only on who wins, but also on whether the selection process can convince the public that every vote genuinely matters. What do you think? Was Yi Yangqianxi's victory deserved? And how do you interpret the 0 votes for Wang Baoqiang and director Yang Lina? Share your view in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and if you value deeper stories and discussions about Chinese cinema, society, and popular culture, please stay with us for the next video. Looking back at the figures cited throughout this video, it is easy to understand why this year's 100 Flowers Awards triggered such an intense debate. The script points to 101 live judges, with Yi Yangqianxi receiving 48 votes for Best Actor, while Wang Baoqiang received 0, Liu Haoran received 1, and director Yang Lina reportedly received 0 votes in the Best Director category. It also notes that Wang Baoqiang had been acting for 26 years before receiving his first Best Actor nomination, while the 100 Flowers Awards themselves date back to 1962 and have a history of more than 6 decades. These numbers do not automatically prove that an award is unfair, but they do raise an important question. When an award calls itself a People's Award, how closely should its final results reflect the judgment and trust of ordinary moviegoers? In the end, the long-term credibility of any film award depends not only on who wins, but also on whether the selection process can convince the public that every vote genuinely matters. What do you think? Was Yi Yangqianxi's victory deserved? And how do you interpret the 0 votes for Wang Baoqiang and director Yang Lina? Share your view in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you value deeper stories and discussions about Chinese cinema, society, and popular culture, please stay with us for the next video.